In this section, we're going to talk a little about the background check and security clearance for federal government employment. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM for short, conducts 90% of the background investigations for the federal government. They complete 90% of the initial clearance investigations in less than 40 days. The government uses a background check for obvious reasons. They want to know that you are reliable, that you can be trusted, and that you have good character, and that you are loyal to the United States of America. Every government employee will go through a background check. There is an additional investigation for those who need security clearance, and these are people that have national security positions, and the levels of this clearance would be top secret, which is classified by the fact that misusing the information to which you have access could cause exceptionally grave damage to the country. There's the level clearance of secret, which is classified by the fact that the misusing of information to which you have access could cause serious damage to the country. And then there is the level of confidential, which is classified by the fact that misusing the information to which you have access could cause some damage to your country. Once you are given the various levels of clearance, you do not automatically have the right to see all the information classified under those levels. You will have to be approved to see that information in a need-to-know basis. Investigations for low-risk positions are the least in-depth in investigating a background. Much less information is collected, and much of the investigation is done by mail. So if you're a timekeeper and you're a GS4 and you're classified as a clerk, you will not go through the background check and security clearance of someone who's applying for a position in the CIA and will have access to top secret information. There are three main phases of receiving security clearance. The first phase is the application process, and this is where they would verify your U.S. citizenship, perform fingerprinting, and the completion of the questionnaire for national security positions. Make sure you fill out all questionnaires completely and accurately. Make sure that your writing is legible. Make sure everything is accurate, from phone numbers to zip codes, addresses, dates, and even with filling out your name, make sure you include your middle name. The second phase is the actual investigation of your background. During this phase, they will ask and interview friends, colleagues, and neighbors. And all reports are collected into a single file called a report of investigation. This report will be sent to the federal agency that asked for the investigation. The third phase is the review of the results of the investigation by the hiring agency. The scope of your background check will vary depending on the job you're applying for, but it will most likely include where you've worked, where you've gone to school, where you've lived, and whether you have a criminal history. For higher level investigations, your credit may be reviewed and investigators may talk to people who know you. This can include friends, relatives, neighbors, as well as past employers and co-workers. The security clearance timeline varies for each position and depends on the level of clearance needed for the job and each individual's background. 90% of the initial investigations were conducted in an average of 33 to 64 days, depending on the level of security clearance. The government knows how cumbersome providing this information is to job seekers, so it has created a website to lessen this burden. When the government instigates an investigation for a position you have applied for, what you can do is you can set up an account at the website opm.gov/e-QIP, and you could create an account that provides this information for your background and security clearance, so you do not have to keep on supplying it. But remember, you have to be under investigation before you can start and create an account such as this. You cannot just send in an application and then create an account. You must be under investigation before you can create an account. And to do this, you will go to this website and you will select Enter e-QIP Applicant Site. You will then receive a screen stating testing your web browser for compatibility. And if everything is okay, you'll simply select Continue. And if you have an account already, let's just say you've gone under investigation before, you could enter this information here and log on. But if you haven't created an account yet, you simply scroll to the right and select Register for username and password. And here you're going to have to provide your Social Security number. And it'll state above, before beginning this process, your sponsoring agency must have already initiated an investigation request for you. If you do not have an active investigation request, you will be unable to proceed. So what you want to do is make sure an investigation is in process before you create this account. And what this will do is this will help you when you apply for other jobs, that you will not have to keep on providing the same old information for background checks. It is in one place and the government can reference this section. So be mindful, a background check is required for all federal jobs. The extent of the background check and security clearance depends on the type of position you will have and the information you will have access to. A basic background check includes a review of law enforcement records and verification of education, past employment, and citizenship. Again, you do not want to lie on any application for the government. They will do the research and they will find out if you are lying, and if you are lying, you will be instantly disqualified. The people who will be doing the investigation are either federal employees or contract investigators working on a government contract. They all do the same work and follow the same laws, regulations, and rules. In some cases, an investigator may inquire with you about information you have placed in your security questionnaire. But in most cases, if everything is filled out properly and there are no questions, the investigation may take place after you have filled out the questionnaire without further input from you. You can consider your possibility of getting a government job nil if you are dishonest or fraudulent in filling out any information in the application process, or you have any background of seeking to overthrow the U.S. government. The government may also need additional information if you have dual citizenship or of foreign birth, or you have family members who are from other countries, or you have a drug use or criminal record, or you have high or delinquent debt, or you have had mental health conditions. In order to make sure the investigation proceeds smoothly, make sure you do not withhold relevant information, you do not lie, and you do not fail to register with the Selective Service. Once your security clearance has been cleared, you might have to undergo a reinvestigation every 5 years for top secret, 10 years for secret, or 15 years for confidential levels. Typically, positions with top secret security clearance require information about your background going back 10 years. Positions that are considered secret and confidential require information going back 7 years. Some questions may pertain to your whole life. If you have gone through a background check and you have not heard anything after a reasonable amount of time, say a month, you may want to check with the security office or the human resource officer and see what is the progress of your clearance. You may also want to contact your security officer to advise that officer of any changes you need to make on the form after you submit it. So these are some things about your background check and security clearance if your position requires it. But all federal positions will require some sort of background check.